Okie dokie. In this problem, we will be using the same method that we did back in 321E. So if you have not checked out that video yet, I recommend it. But otherwise, we'll still talk through how to go about these. So the first step is to find the antiderivative of this function f prime. So if this is f prime, we want to find a function f that could represent a possible antiderivative of f prime. And then we'll tack on plus c. Once we have f in terms of, everything, and then plus c, we will use this initial condition in order to solve for c. All right. Antiderivative first term, -5 stays out in front. And then anything or any time we have a t on the bottom, the antiderivative is natural log of t. And visually, it may help to rewrite the first term as -5 times 1 over t, because -5 just comes along for the ride, and the antiderivative of 1 over t is ln of t, absolute value of t. So then antiderivative of -2 sine of t. So -2 comes along for the ride. And then in order to get a sine of t, the antiderivative must have been negative cosine of t, because the derivative of negative cosine of t is positive sine. All right, so then let's maybe simplify this just slightly. So we have -5 ln of absolute value of t, and then -2 times minus cosine gives us a plus 2 cosine of t plus c. So now this is f of t, and now we will plug in 3 for t and 3 for f. Keep in mind what's inside the parentheses is always our t value. So f is 3. We have -5 ln of 3 for t plus 2 cosine of 3 for t, and then plus c. A little note, when we plug in 3 for t inside the absolute value bars, since we know that 3 is positive, then really there's no need for the absolute value bars anymore, because we know that 3 is positive, so what's inside the natural log will be positive, so we don't need the absolute value bars. Keep in mind our goal is to isolate c on the right side, so we're eliminating these two terms, or moving those two terms to the left side of the equation. So we have 3 plus 5 ln of 3 minus 2 cosine of 3. And it takes a calculator or Excel to evaluate this. 3 plus 5 ln of 3 and then minus 2 cosine of 3. And I'll want to make sure that I'm in radians, which I believe I am. So 10.47 or 10.5 should be our c value. So usually you might be able to identify the answer just based on the c value, but of course the whole answer comes from taking what we found for f and plugging in the 10.5 in place of the c, right? So we have -5 ln of t, absolute value of t, plus 2 cosine of t plus 10.5. So it looks like option B is our answer. Let's go and do one or two more examples here. Again, same method. We want to find f of t. So the antiderivative of these two terms here. 3e to the t. 3 gets carried along. And then the antiderivative of e to the t is e to the t, because the derivative of e to the t is e to the t. So then, antiderivative of t cubed, we add 1 to the exponent, and then we divide by whatever that new exponent is. So t to the 4th over 4. We say plus c, and then we identify t as 3 and 1 as f. So we're plugging in 1 for f and 3 for t. in order to solve for c. So getting c by itself, we'll have 1 minus 3e cubed plus 3 to the 4th over 4. 1 minus 3 e to the 3rd plus 3 to the 4th over 4. So we get about negative 39. Negative 39 shows itself in two answers. So which one is right? Once we plug in c here, we have our complete function f. So 3e to the t, a positive 3e to the t is what we're looking for. A negative t to the 4th over 4, and then a negative 39. So it looks like C is our best answer. Let's go and do one more. All right, so very similar to one of the others we have worked out. Let's roll through it. Anytime you see just a t on the bottom, you know that that'll lead us to some natural log of t, and then we keep its coefficient of 3 out in front. Negative cosine would be the result of a, or sorry, what did I say? Negative sine would be the result of a positive cosine, because the derivative of positive cosine is negative sine. We tack on plus c, and we are plugging in 1 for t and 3 for f. So we have 3 equals 3 ln of 1 plus cosine of 1 plus c. So something nice about this is ln of 1 is just 0. So we have 3 times 0, so this whole term goes away. So really c is just 3 minus cosine of 1. And we get 2.46, so 2.5-ish maybe. So 2.5 looks like option A or C. And then having plugged 2.5 in here, we find that F should have a 3 ln of t, a plus cosine of t, and a plus 2.5. So we see that C is our answer. If you have any questions on antiderivatives or this process for this problem in general, please let me know. Hope this helps.